Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today what we're going to be looking at is how we can use our Apple Magic Keyboard to create custom shortcuts on our iPad Pro. Let's do this. So as we know, the iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard does not have any function keys on it, so we can't change things like the brightness or the volume. Well, after today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how we can create custom shortcuts in order to do things like changing the volume, going to the next song, or anything else that you can think about. Okay, so the only solutions that I could find prior to this involves taking your cursor to the top right and sliding with 2 fingers over the volume and brightness sliders. And this isn't really good enough because what we want to do is to use a keyboard shortcut to achieve the same thing. So over here, I'm tapping Command up and Command down. And what that does is decreases and increases my volume. Now let's try Command plus and Command minus, and we see that Command plus is what I've bound to run a shortcut to increase my brightness, and Command minus decreases my brightness, and each time I press it, the brightness goes 1 down. And each time I press Command plus, the brightness will go 1 up, almost as if we had a shortcut key on our keyboard. So let's see how we can achieve this. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that there's no escape key on the Magic Keyboard. So let's reclaim that bad boy. We're going to go to Settings, General, Keyboards, Hardware Keyboards, and then we're going to click on Modifier Keys. Now this lets us choose one of these given options and bind our escape key to that. And that way we can reclaim our escape key. So I use the globe key, and that's what I use for escape. Other people use caps lock or tab. Now here's the real part. If we go to accessibility and keyboards, then we click on full keyboard access and switch that on, we can actually create some custom keyboard commands for some of these lists. But you'll see here, it's not as diverse as you'd like to hope. For example, there's no brightness up, brightness down. But at the very bottom, it does have an option to choose something from your custom shortcuts app. So what we're going to do is we're going to open shortcuts. So you see in our shortcuts app, we have all of the created shortcuts there, but let's create a new shortcut. So we're going to call this one volume U, just because I've already created volume up, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So if we see all actions, this just shows you all the kinds of things that we can do in the shortcuts app. But what we're going to use now is the scripting function. So I'm going to create an if statement to determine what the current volume is. So we're going to say if, click on device details, and then in device details, you'll see this current volume. So we're essentially going to say if this volume is between 2 numbers, and we're going to say like create the first band, so between 0 and 0.09. If the volume is between this band, then we're going to set the volume to be, and so if it's below that, then we're going to set it up to 10%. Okay, so essentially right now, if the current volume is between 0 and 9%, it'll set it up to 10%. Now let's create another if statement. So if the volume is then between 9%, so it's greater than 9%, but less than 19%, so if it's between 9% and 19%, then we're going to set that volume to 20%. So you'll see over here, 19%. Then we're going to find our volume and drag it in. And then in this case, we're going to set it to 20%. Cool, and now you can see we're basically just going to continue doing this for each little band, and that's essentially a volume up function. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go into your settings, and you're going to see in this keyboard section under accessibility, you're going to go to keyboards, again, full access keyboards commands, and you're going to see we now have at the very bottom under shortcuts, we're going to have a new shortcut, the volume U shortcut that we just created. So let's bind that to a keyboard shortcut. For example, let me make it Command Enter, and then you double tap space to be done. Now every time when I press Command Enter, the volume up shortcut runs. So that's essentially how we do it, guys. You're just going to fill this out. I'm going to show you my full functions and how it's being done. If I click on here, it runs. Let me just show you that it works. So I'm going to switch the volume down to a very, very small amount in this band that we've run. And I'm going to run the function. And you see the volumes increase. Let's do it again. The volume increase again. So there you see it. Let me show you my full function. So play, pause, you can have brightness up. This is the full function. If you want to copy it, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, I hope this helps everyone use their keyboards a bit more effectively. Here's the brightness down. Just pay attention to the bands and how different they are, because if you're going downwards, it needs to include a different range. But I've included it all here for you. The same thing with volume up. Here you go. And volume down. And then I've also just shown you how easy it is just to make a next song. Just skip forwards on the iPad. The previous song is basically the same thing. Just skip back to the previous song and then a play pause function. And you just bind that to whatever keyboard shortcut you want. And yeah, let me just show you that the play pause works, right? I'm playing a song. Now I'm going to click the play pause shortcut. And you can see now it's paused the song. If I click next song, you'll see over here it has gone to the next song. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you've got any other tips and tricks.